Morning, everyone. This is my farewell tour. I had Chad on yesterday and my girl Frances on today. And I was telling her that every time that you come on, I don't know what to put on the title field. Right? It's one day it's an author, another day it's
teacher,
a home teacher, tour or something or another, videos,
state executive,
and the state executive committee. I mean, just Eagles,
student Eagles, yeah.
But while I'm looking this up, because I asked Ted about Frances Arthur, and I said scrub the web, Ted, and then I asked a paragraph or two to describe Frances Arthur, because there's just so much that I can say about Frances. She's a doer, and she is my hero, honestly. And we've been together in this journey for a long time. Long time. And her boys are precious.
They are.
And she's a new grandmother, and it changes flipping everything.
It's the best thing ever.
It's like our life makes sense now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, it is the best thing ever.
And Frances leaves quite a legacy for that grandson, and hopefully future ones as well.
Yeah, there are future ones.
See, I bought a camper, and I'm going to go plop it down behind Taylor's.
Okay.
So that's my answer to this. I'm retiring. Forget y'all.
Respectfully, she loves you.
I love every single one of
you.
Y'all know that.
Yeah.
Y'all know
she
that.
She loves her grandchild more. Every grandmama watching us right now is on our side. They all know.
Because it changes your whole thought process.
Yes.
Like, what's important in life?
Yeah. It does.
It's that legacy.
It's
that those children.
Absolutely.
You work so hard in your children.
Yes.
And now it's the fun part.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are they doing? How's your kids doing? Well, I'm looking this up. All right.
You got it?
No, I don't.
They're wonderful. Ben and David, they're wonderful. Yeah.
Where are they doing? Tell us a little bit about it.
Ben is still in his special forces unit, and he's doing great. And I love him. And he and his wife have just bought another house, and so they're moving just a few hours closer to me. So I won't have to do the 8-hour drive. I'll only have to do the 5-hour drive.
That wins.
Yeah. So that works better for me. I like that. Yeah. So moving them closer a little bit at a time. So that's an exciting thing. When your kids go and buy not their first house, their second house, it's like, yes, you have, moved into adult. You know how to
You're
adult.
Adulting. How old is he now?
Yeah, 33. I had him when I was 12, so don't add. So
that's adulting pretty darn good.
It really is
these days.
Yeah. And David is on the border, but he has moved from El Paso. He's over in Arizona now.
Nice. He's with his people. He's in a safe place.
He is, and he loves it. He loves
him and his horses.
How
many?
He has four. Yes. He's saddle breaking one of them right now. And
a true cowboy.
He loves it. He's living the life.
Yeah, but they were 4-H'ers, right?
Yeah.
You guys raised Angus, wasn't it?
Red Angus. Yeah.
Red Angus.
We did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they were pretty.
We still do. Our cows are still there. We still have some good cows. Yeah.
They won stuff, with those cows.
Yeah.
They were kind of a big deal in the whole cow world.
They did a good job. Yeah.
She's an overachiever, I swear to God. All right, here we go. Are we ready?
Go for it.
Because we can go into. I also want to know. All right, so your title today is History and Civics Educator.
Okay. That's me.
Okay. So he had several.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is what he chose for you.
I like it.
Now, for the description, I describe her as much broader than a historian. What stands out is the combination of education, American government, civic engagement, and her ability to make those subjects accessible to young people. I'm getting verklempt. Frances Arthur is a veteran educator, author, and civic education advocate whose career has spanned more than 3 decades. Her teaching has covered American and world history, government politics, economics, and civics, and she has also developed her own curriculum. A Tennessee Tech graduate, that's where my parents met. Mm-hmm. Frances began her career teaching music in public schools before expanding into homeschool and tutorial education. Beyond the classroom, Frances has devoted considerable energy to helping young people understand how government works and how citizens can participate in it. She serves as Tennessee Eagle Forum's Student Eagle Director and has led the National Student Eagles program, working with students interested in government, public policy, and civic engagement. That combination of teacher, storyteller, author, and civic mentor gives her a particularly interesting perspective on American history. Not simply what happened, but how history continues to shape government and civics life today. Oh,
Pretty good, Ted.
I mean, does that not sum up?
That's the summary of my adulthood. Yeah.
Wow.
I do.
So the legacy, so we're all thinking now with the grandchild and legacy. Where do you think that lies? Where's your legacy?
Oh, wow. And thousands of students that I've taught. I mean, we've 10,000 students. We figured out one time, 10,000 students. Yeah. That's pretty bizarre, but the first 8 years I taught, I was in the public school system and I had 1,200 students a year. So it wasn't hard to get to when you think of that. But I've taught hundreds of students since then. And the legacy comes whenever I get a text message on election day from a student that says, I just voted for the first time. Yeah, and a mom messaged me this year on election day. Her son had gone to vote. It was his first time to vote. And then he came home to get his parents and say, okay, are y'all going to vote? And Dad said, I usually don't go vote in the primaries. They're just not that important. And this precious student said to his father, every election is important.
Praise.
And I'm like, yes! And I'm going to bet that Dad probably didn't know who to vote for in the primaries, but I would also bet that student knew precisely who he wanted to vote for, because I've taught my students how to analyze candidates and see who matches with their own worldview. And so it's what I do every time. Write down what you believe and why you believe that. Where do you stand on this issue and that issue? Pick your top 5. Where do you stand? If you don't know where you stand, then any candidate is going to be able to pull you to their position with a flyer or with a commercial. Oh, yeah, I believe that too. Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, you better know what you believe and why you believe it. And then you start looking at candidates and see who matches you on those 5 issues. And Jesus Christ, Buddha, Muhammad, none of them are on the ballot. So you don't get to vote for them. You're not going to find your perfect candidate. You're not. So, I mean, I've been married to my husband for 38 years. We don't agree on candidates all the time.
Erica and I don't either.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to find the best candidate. So I need to find a candidate I can live with. And that's why I've got my top 5. And really, when I find a candidate that I don't like, there are no candidate on the ballot for that office that I will not vote for a candidate then. I will not. Or I will write in the name of somebody who I think would be great in that position, and I know my vote won't matter in that, but I refuse to vote for you if I don't think you are a candidate that I can work with in that position. Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore. I love it.
It is, but it works for me, and I can go to sleep at night, you know?
So, SEC, let's talk about elections because November's coming up.
Yeah.
It's important.
It is. Especially since we've got such a huge influx of people into the state who aren't born and bred Tennesseans. And I mean, for that matter, I wasn't born here either, but I've lived here. Yeah, I've lived here long enough. I get Tennessee, and I love Tennessee. And I'm concerned about people moving in and the quantities that they're moving in that don't understand. Yeah, there's a reason you wanted to move here. We need to make sure you know.
Because we took care of business.
Yeah, we do. We take care of business here, and we need to make sure that when those voters head to the poll, and I hope they will, I want you to vote, but I want to make sure that we educate people. I mean, and the bottom line is, for me, it's all about education. Education is everything. And nobody anywhere has the job that they have without the education that they got.
So vouchers are on hot topic as
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
And you being a teacher,
Yeah.
and just I'm me personally, I'm torn about the voucher
I am
system.
too. I'm absolutely torn because I can see why they would be valuable, and I can see a problem and how that would be detrimental to public schools, and public schools are already struggling.
Mm-hmm.
They don't need to have a whole bunch of students vacate their school and lose that funding and take that money to another school. So it could be very, very bad for
Do
a
you
public school.
think Marcia has a plan on that?
I don't know the answer to that.
But do you feel like that?
I think she's going to have one pretty fast.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the check marks.
It is. It's one of the check marks, absolutely.
What else does she have to hit, in your opinion?
She's going to have to hit that. She's going to have to get the pro-life voters because there are still plenty of pro-life voters in this state.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Thank God there are.
Monty appealed. A lot of Monty supporters appealed to them.
Yes, absolutely. The pro-life vote is critical in this state. And she's there. She will have that, I believe. Yeah, gun rights is going to be another issue that she's going to have to navigate a little bit better. And yeah.
We have to have that.
Mm-hmm. In Tennessee, you sure do.
Folks have, my pet peeve is taking the ball and going home and, not participating. It's like one of my pet peeves in life. I'm like, you know what? Suck it up, Buttercup.
I met the most interesting woman just a few weeks ago in Murfreesboro. She works for the Chamber of Commerce there. She's responsible for tourism in Rutherford County. And she worked for, her name's Ivy. She worked for the Smithsonian Institute and the Smithsonian Museums and in Washington, D.C., and she has studied women's suffrage a great deal. And with the new business that I've started, she begged me, please do a video about women's suffrage. Every time I hear a woman say, I'm not going to go vote this time, I don't like any of the candidates, oh, this election doesn't matter, I wish they knew. I wish they had the education to understand how hard women fought to get that vote.
Well, wasn't Tennessee the last
Tennessee was the last state.
And it was one vote?
Yes, yeah, by one vote, because a mother in East Tennessee wrote her son, who was a state rep, wrote him a letter that said, you better vote for this. Vote yes on this one. And he did.
And he did.
He did, and that's why women have the vote today. And yeah, you could argue, another state could have picked it up, but
the fact is we got it.
We did.
It's ours.
We did it. That's right. So it happened here. So yeah, once she explained it to me that way, that women don't understand how hard other women worked to get that vote. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to develop that video 100%. And that lesson.
Yep.
So yeah.
Tennessee, you've worked with all the states, and it's all kind of shifting because of the different patterns. Like, New York is just insane right now with these high taxes and the, Mandami. Who would have ever thought that a Mandami or a DSA would be in America?
I'm just at a loss. I've never been so confused over an election result in my life as when that man got elected. And in all honesty, I see a vote of no confidence in his future.
I would think so.
I really do, because he's not navigating the things that he needs to navigate well. He's navigating extraneous things that in the grand scheme don't matter, but they're the extraneous fluff that hardcore people to the left want to hear him say, so he does that.
He does it.
Yeah, and so that appeals to them. But then there are the real people who are getting up and working the 9 to 5 and taking their kids to school, and he's not hitting those buttons at all. And he better start fast. Vote of no confidence. I think he'll be ousted. I really don't think he'll serve a term.
I would think so, but I mean, crazy things, and I to have ever thought that Democrats, Socialists of America would be taking over the Democrat Party and winning is just, we are in a crux of history. How did we get here?
We are. Because history doesn't repeat itself. People repeat history. That's how. We go in a cycle, and it's called the Titler cycle,
That's
actually.
right.
Yeah, the Titler
It's
cycle.
in your book.
Yeah, it is in my book. Yeah. So we go in a cycle, and we're coming around again back to the point where we are in bondage to our government. That's where we are, and you can look that what it's Tytler, the Titler cycle, and yeah, we're coming back around to it faster than we think. I'm hopeful that we won't stay in that part of the cycle long, just because I know so many universities and homeschooled students and public school students are rising up again and saying, "No, wait a minute. We need to think about Christ and the cross and the cross and get our nation back to its foundation, get it back to its roots. We actually were a nation built on the foundation of Christ. The Pilgrims weren't fooling when they came over here. They wanted to make sure that their children were safe from outside sources influencing their religious beliefs. And I think we're going to get back to that part of the cycle faster, just because we have those students who are waiting to rise up.
It is
And,
it's weird seeing the rebels being conservative and our kids.
It is, isn't it? It's kind of fun. But in a way, though, isn't that what's always happened? Mm-hmm. I mean, when you think about the cycle, it's always just been those few people who were the rebels who said, yeah, no, we're not going to tolerate this. It's how our nation was founded. Mm-hmm. History doesn't repeat itself. People repeat history.
So you feel pretty good about that?
I do. I don't know that we'll see that complete passage in my lifetime because I'm an old woman now, but my son will see it. My grandson will definitely see it. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of military, so I'm a big fan of the art of the deal, right? That is Trump had me at a low back in the glorious 80s.
Okay.
Glorious big 80s, and Reagan was king, and it was a great time to be alive. Mm-hmm. And so I feel that with my man Trump. But Iran, lots of discussion about the deal and the methods and etc. What are your thoughts on that coming from a military background?
I have no idea. I really don't. I grew up in the military. I love what Pete Hegseth is doing right now with our military. I mean, he is a rock star in my book.
Oh, he is so handsome.
Well, yeah, he's fun to look at too.
And he dresses really good.
He does, and he works out with his troops, which is incredibly.
He's like a guy's guy.
He is a guy's guy. So I can live with that. I like what he's doing.
Yeah,
I do. I like what he's doing. I like that some people who have been in leadership positions at the Pentagon are being removed because they were put there because of DEI. And he's like, yeah, you can't do this job. You don't belong here. Go away. Right. We're going to give you severance pay. We're going to give you retirement. Just go away so I can put somebody in here that can do the job. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm glad to see DEI ending. And it's quite possibly because I have 2 white heterosexual sons. Oh,
those toxic male masculinity there.
Yeah, yeah, right. But if the enemy comes knocking on my door, I want a strong guy standing between me and them.
100%.
I don't want a DEI person trying to say, okay, now, sweetheart, you can't attack her because that's rude. That didn't work for me. I want somebody who can defend me and you and our nation. I want the right people. And the bottom line is that's who it's going to take.
It's
going to take strong people to do a powerful job, and I'm glad we've got the right people in the right place now.
Well, and that is super important, and the DEI was the issue. I'm going to go back to Iran just because I feel like that's I've always wanted world peace. Right, that's a typical pageant,
Yes.
I just want world peace, but I do, and I'm going to go global in a little bit now. And it's just. It seems like the puzzle pieces, it all starts back in Israel. And from a biblical standpoint,
I mean, Isaac and Ishmael.
Yeah.
It started back in the biblical times. Yeah. And it always will be. It always will be until, and I mean, as a Christian, it's going to be that way until Jesus returns. That scripture tells me so. I'm not smart enough to conceive another idea.
I am in, and when people are saying, Israel is blah blah blah, and I'm like, I'm not voting against Israel.
No, no, I saw what happened to people who spoke out against Israel. Can you say Goliath? No.
Yeah,
No.
but seriously, I mean,
Don't
people
speak out against Israel. I won't.
As a Christian, how is that? How can we do that?
Because they're not perfect, and neither are you, and neither am I, and neither is anybody else. And the United States is not a perfect nation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And neither is Israel.
Okay.
Yeah. All have sinned and fall short. So, Israel too.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I'm going to speak out against them, because the end of the day, Scripture says they are God's chosen. And so we've got to defend Israel. We've got to take care of Israel.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad about that. Constitutional amendments. You've gone through a few.
Yeah.
Do we have any on the ballot in November? We have something on the ballot.
We do have some on the ballot in November, but you'd have to have me back later after I researched all of them.
Yeah,
in detail,
no,
so,
I don't even know what they are.
Yeah,
so.
we're gonna. We've got a few, and so I've honestly not had the time to dig through them. Just know that they're coming up, and if whoever is taking your place here wants to have me back in October, I'll be happy to go through all of the amendments.
So you, what was your? You had two. How many constitutional amendments were you involved with, or was it just the one? Okay.
Yep.
What is the process on that?
A long one.
It's huge. People think, we'll just
huge. No,
we'll just amend the Constitution.
When you and remember, this is the state constitution. This is not the federal constitution. That's a whole different ball of wax. This one, the state constitution. First off, the language has to be written. It has to be passed with the exact same language in both chambers of the House. Mm-hmm. Okay, by at least 50% of the vote. Then we have to have an election cycle so that we elect potentially a whole new slate of actors there in the House and Senate in Tennessee, and they have to pass the same exact language. Nobody can amend anything by 2/3 of the vote. And then it will go on the ballot of the next gubernatorial election, which will be in November of those off years from when we elect a president. So every 4 years. So then it goes on that November ballot. At that point, it has to pass by 50% plus one of the voters who also cast a ballot in the gubernatorial election. Oh. So watch this. If 1 million people, let's just say 1 million Tennesseans go and cast a vote for a gubernatorial candidate, a governor candidate, okay? 1 million people. And let's say 500,000 people vote yes on an amendment. That's half, right?
Yeah.
The amendment fails. The amendment fails in that case by one vote. You have to have it by 50% plus one. So that it's got to be 500,001 in this scenario.
Every vote counts. Every
single vote counts. And then some people will say, okay, yeah, but what if I don't vote for governor, but I do vote for the amendment? Well, you disenfranchised yourself. Why would you do that?
Yeah, stay in the arena.
Yeah, exactly. Stay in the arena and play ball. So don't do that. They say, oh, but my vote will count twice. No, your vote really only counts once, I promise. So stay in the arena, vote for the gubernatorial candidate, vote for your amendments, and
What happens if it loses?
If it fails, it dies, and the next state after that election, the body that comes into the Tennessee General Assembly can start all over again.
Oh, they would have to start.
They would have to start all over again.
It's like almost a lifetime to get an amendment, even in the state.
Yeah. From the time that the Supreme Court ruling was handed down over the pro-life amendment, that was in the year 2000.
Wow.
It took 14 years. Yeah. I mean, we had to elect a pro-life legislature.
And we didn't have it.
We did not have it in 2000. We absolutely didn't have it. It wasn't until about 2008 that
It
we
was.
got that that
God,
fun
that was
year.
so
That was a
exciting.
great year. 2008, we got the pro-life legislature. So that year we could pass by 50%. 2010, we passed by the 2/3. Yeah, and then so by then, by the time we got it done in 2011, it was 2014 before the next gubernatorial election was. So
Yeah, it
Yeah.
just takes a little bit of a time. Do you remember?
yeah, don't you want to stay here a little
Yeah,
while?
it takes a long time. That's why I feel so good about stepping away. I've done all my
You've
things.
done all of
I've done
this,
them all.
yeah.
The thing I will always remember in government excitement, I think this is, you have your top list, right? Or not excitement, but just maybe this was disbelief. The Kent Williams election.
Jesus, keep me in the cross.
I was. Were you there that day?
I was not there that day. I watched it.
I was sitting next to, I can't forget his name, and that was just the craziest day ever. Where Jason Mumpower, he did okay, he'll be fine, but lost the speakership.
Yeah.
After all this hard work.
Yes. After getting everybody in place the way that
49, and it was such drama. Because wasn't it? It's 99. Is it 99? All right, so it was 49 and 49. So the Republicans voted 49.
Democrats
voted 49.
And Kent Williams had gone over and spoken to the Democrats and said, "Elect me, and I'll do whatever you want."
And he was the last vote. He was a Williams. He was the last flipping vote, and it was 49. And then Kent Williams. It goes up for grabs. There was fisticuffs. Remember Judd? He was losing his mind. I mean, I'm surprised. People got jumped in there and just...
It was ugly. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't there. I'm glad I just watched later. I'm glad I wasn't there.
Oh my God, Steve Gill was in the middle of it all, and just everyone was. But anyway, that's just such a dastardly, but one for the history book.
Absolutely one for the history books. Sure
you
was.
can make a deal with the devil to be in power.
Yeah, you can. And it did exactly what one would think a deal with the devil would do, because that was the end of his political career.
Yeah, well, of course, because no one's going to let him. Number one, they stripped him from being a Republican.
Yep.
And that's the other thing, bona fide. So when I ran for SEC, and David and C. Alexander is going to be great. Yeah. But, and you know that, the bona fide status
mine was challenged,
deal. Yeah. Which is hilarious. But that because they won't close the primaries over this whole process.
Right.
Wasn't that what the SEC wanted, was to close primaries?
Oh, the SEC has tried to get that done for decades.
And it just...
State legislature won't vote for it.
Do you think that...
Yeah, it's got to go to the state legislature to vote.
Well,
all the SEC can do is say, "Pretty please, we'd really like it if you would."
Yeah, they have no power.
Yeah, no power.
But why wouldn't they pass it?
Why wouldn't they? Because they believe in the crossover votes of Tennessee. And I'm like, you understand that it's 2026 now?
Yeah.
I say that to every state representative and state senator. It's 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're crossover voting now,
that's scary.
It's just so small of a margin, I think. I really do. I really think it's such a small margin that it couldn't have an outcome.
Yeah, because that strategy
couldn't influence the outcome of the election.
It's just everything has changed, and
we went through that. I remember that 1 year my mom and dad voted in opposite. I mean, my mom even made the comment, "I'm negating all of your dad's votes."
My parents did that.
Okay. And then the next time, mom was on the same side as dad, and I thought, "Oh, there we are." And and so our state saw that political shift from one side to the other side. We're there. We're there. And I'm concerned now with, again, the influx of people coming from who don't understand what we had to do to get where we are. There's a reason Tennessee's a fabulous place to live.
It really is. It's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears by fabulous people like Francis.
Well, and you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It takes a team.
It does take a team.
And that's why I love Marcia. So Dad loved Marcia. Dad, when I moved back home in 2002, Dad's like, "You have got to meet someone." And he dragged me to, I think it was probably the Williamson County Reagan Day dinner.
Okay.
And I heard her speak, and I'm like, "All right, Dad, I get it." And I always respect my dad. And she did the heavy lifting.
She did.
You know, back when there
Back in
was
the day,
like,
she absolutely did.
and there is something to be said about
Mm-hmm.
carrying on and having that
Yeah.
carrying on.
Yeah. She did do a lot of the heavy lifting.
And I respect
And I
that.
mean, the state income tax, there's a
Jeez.
reason we don't have a state income tax. And she played a huge role in it.
And you know, Tennessee is, I say three, right? Top three in the country.
I think
we are.
so, yeah.
So Florida, Texas, and us.
Uh-huh.
I
There's a
think
reason
that's-
people want to move here.
Yeah. And so you dilute it by asking all of these amenities, all the things that folks are used to. And once again, it's a cultural, it's where you're used to.
Yeah.
Like garbage pickup is not a right.
Thank you. Neither is newspaper delivery.
Oh my gosh. And just things, but when you move, you just think that, oh, that's
Yeah, well, in the place that we lived before, they did garbage pickup for free every Tuesday and Friday. Surely that happens here. No, it doesn't.
because we don't have the taxes, so we don't have the
That's
tax
right.
infrastructure, and we
That's
like
right.
it that way.
Yeah, I can take my own trash.
Yeah, it's okay.
Or my husband can take my trash. Not me.
Eric does the
yeah.
trash. Yeah, Eric does the
Bill's
trash.
going to take. Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's it. But we assimilate, and that's our role is to assimilate folks into our lifestyle instead of vice versa.
Yeah.
I think that's where we need.
I've been monitoring a lot of homeschooling pages recently. This is that time of year when all the moms come on and this is my first year to homeschool and I don't know what to do. And every year, every fall, I see it. There's always one mom who says, are there any tax benefits for homeschooling parents intended? Is there any funding to help us buy our curriculum? No, and we don't want it. And you'll see all of the Tennessean mamas, nope, we don't want that. No. No, we fund our own homeschool. We take care of our own books. They have them at the library. If you need them, you can borrow them from a friend. You can buy them on sale. You can buy them at used. You know, there are a multitude of ways for you to homeschool your kids. And by the way, the first 2 years, all you need is a library card and your backyard. You don't need curriculum. So for kindergarten and first grade, that's why I was tardy getting here this morning as I was explaining this to another mom. Yeah, homeschooling has become my passion. I love working with homeschooling moms, especially when they first start out. I love the excitement, and it's without fail. They always want to say, okay, well, what curriculum do I need to get? Okay, I'm homeschooling my child. My child is 5 years old, or we want to start preschool, 4 years old. And
That would be me, honestly.
okay, great, 4 years old. What curriculum do they need? Okay, they're not putting on a business suit carrying a briefcase to school, okay? Why do you want to grow them up so quickly? Why do you want to force them into doing things that their brain is not ready to do yet?
Wow.
So stop. So that's why I tell you, all you need is a library card. You can check out any book in that library you want to read to your child, and your backyard.
Oh.
Your first 2 years are when you get to teach your child how to learn, and that learning is exciting. You will never get that opportunity again. It is gone. So those first 2 years, you want to teach your children how to go through the process of learning. How do we get there? And you don't do it by saying, okay, now baby, what we do to learn things is that more is caught than is taught. You don't teach it to them, you show it to them. And so the way you do that is you sit and you read books to them. You want to read the book? Let's read this story about this big red dog. Oh my goodness! Let's read this one about a train engine. His name's Thomas. Oh my gosh! You read great books to children, and then you go outside and you play, and you explore, and you see things, and children are inquisitive. I mean, how many moms have had to answer questions? Why is this? Why? They're naturally inquisitive. They want to learn. So whenever they're asking you why, figure out why. I have no idea why the sky is blue, baby. Let's go find a book and look at it. Not let's pull up a computer screen. Let's go find a book and look that up. Okay? And you do that. You always go to a book instead of a screen. I've read just enough scientific studies now that have convinced me that children, as their brain is developing, young children, when we put a computer screen in front of them, a cell phone screen, whatever, when we put them in front of that, adversely affects the neural pathways in their brain. And their brain doesn't develop the way that it needs to then. They develop an addiction, for lack of a better term, for dopamine. And every time something on that phone pings at them, every time something lightens up, it's a dopamine hit. Every time.
Crafty.
They've got to think about you. Whenever your phone pings, how quickly do you reach for it?
I turn it off.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, I don't do it.
Okay, yeah, and I've gotten better about it because I know this is a thing for me. It's a dopamine hit. Oh gosh, I got 54 likes on my Really? Really? You're getting likes on your Facebook? That's going to do it for you? We have an addiction to dopamine, and we're giving it to our kids when we put the cell phone or a tablet in their hand. So don't do those things for them. Teach them how to learn, and that learning on its own is an exciting thing. Then 10 years later, when they're 15 years old, and you're teaching them about how to drive your car, you know, that $30,000 vehicle that you pay insurance on? Yeah. They'll watch the videos, they'll read the book because they'll want to know how to do this correctly. They'll have a desire to learn new things. When you're digging through that Algebra 2 lesson, they'll have a desire to learn how to do that because you built that desire in when they were 5 years old.
I mean, I firmly believe that.
I know it to be true. I know it to be true. I've seen it happen too many times.
Didn't Tennessee just pass a law about screens in schools?
Yes, they did, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen with it. I'm looking forward to it.
Was that a Bobby Betray thing? How'd that get passed?
No, I have no idea. Grace of God. You know, this is the year that COVID babies will be entering school. This is also the year that children who entered school at that time are headed into first grade, okay? Yeah, and kids who went through that COVID process as they were first entering school are now in 5th and 6th grade.
Has that really changed
It's
things?
really changed the dynamics in the classroom. Yeah, because the only way we could teach that year was with screens. I saw what it was doing to my students that year. That's why I wrote the emotional health and intelligence book.
Yeah.
I witnessed it happening right in front of me on a screen every time I met with my students every week. That was a devastating blow to them, to not be in a room. I mean, you know, Genesis says it's not good for man to be alone. Why would we do that to our kids? Why would we force them to sit in their kitchen, their bedroom, alone with a computer screen and say, yes, these images you see on a screen are people, and they are, but it's not the same. It's just not the same. So
and so you're seeing it in learning styles.
We're seeing it in learning styles, and you know, God bless them. The kids who entered high school that year have just graduated. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I will never go back. We will never go back.
That is, history doesn't repeat itself. People repeat history. 100 years from now, will there be anybody alive who remembers what we did to ourselves?
That's some deep
We have
stuff.
got to teach our children well. You asked about legacy earlier.
Yep.
That's it. We have got to teach our children well, or they'll be there again. Yeah.
Deep.
Try to think deeper than the bubble in a car head. So.
Well, before I let you go, because I don't even know what time it is. It's the usual. I don't know. You know, it could be 9:00. Tell us about your new adventure, because you needed more time to be with that baby.
Yeah.
So you're putting your legacy.
I am,
out
and
there.
it's lots of fun. It's called Field Trip Ready.
Okay.
One of the things that I have had the pleasure doing since back when I was a first year public educator, and by the time I was in the second school, my third year teaching, I was asked to go on a field trip. I was the music teacher, so a couple of fifth grade teachers asked me if I would accompany their classes to the Civil War battlefield in Murfreesboro, Stones River battlefield. Will you come with us and help us keep up with everybody? Yeah, absolutely, I'll go. So I got there, I counted to 60, made sure everybody got off the bus, and we're all there. And I walked in the door of the Stones River Battlefield Visitor Center and asked, okay, so can somebody tell me what this is about? You know, I'm looking at the pictures and the stuff in the room, the old diorama they had. So can somebody tell me what this is about? And not one student could even say Civil War. And I thought, you mean your teacher didn't prepare you for this trip before? Oh, in other words, this is just a day out of class. This is just a day out of your class. A wasted possibility. And I saw that happen. That was also that in that same next few years was when we had the 2 airplanes from Japan fly to the United States with the artworks, and they did the Masterworks art collection.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. Our art teachers had done nothing to. Those were the masterworks. You know, you're looking at Degas, Monet, and they weren't prepared. And so students were being ushered through those beautiful, masterful paintings and seeing nothing. Oh, it's a picture of some deer. There's a flower.
Oh my.
Yeah. And the highlight of your day is we got to eat lunch at the spaghetti factory.
Wasted opportunity.
A wasted opportunity. Sometime later, I took a group of students to a symphony at MTSU. And I told them, this is what you're going to see. This is the conductor. These are the instruments. This is what they're going to play. Let's listen to this music. What do you hear? And my students got there and they were totally engaged. Same kids. It was the same school, same kids. But they were totally engaged in the process and even could talk about it in class later. But it was because we had studied it before we went. That set a tone for me. When I started homeschooling Ben and David, then that we were going on a trip to Boston and Philadelphia with a homeschool group. And knowing what I knew about preparing for field trips, we went to the library. We checked out books on Boston. And no, it was Boston and Jamestown, Virginia. Yeah. Okay. So we started studying Boston. And we were going to have, our schedule said we would have half of a free day in Boston. And when you're a one-income family, going to Boston doesn't come along every day. So I thought, we may never get to come here again. We're studying Boston, and we're going to figure out exactly what we're doing on our half of a free day so we don't waste that time. And so we went to the library, we read the books, and we decided if a nor'easter blows through here and drops 18 inches of snow, we will still walk over to the Charleston port and see the USS Constitution, no matter what. Well, thankfully, we had a sunny day, but we were behind in getting there, so we weren't going to have half of a free day. We were going to have about an hour.
And you made it happen.
And I made it happen. I mean, I quite literally grabbed Ben and David by the back of the collars, and we ran to catch the last ferry to head over to Charleston Harbor, and we boarded the last group onto the USS Constitution. One of the guides on there was impressed with my 2 sons and how they peppered her with questions, and they asked relevant, intelligent questions, and they knew answers to questions. And so as the ship was closing down, they were kicking everybody off. She looked at us and said, "Would you like the grand tour?" Yes, we would. We don't know what that entails, but we would like it. So she showed us everything. We saw where the sailors went to use the bathroom, which when you're 10 years old is a magnificent, especially if you're a 10-year-old boy. It's an amazing thing to find out where they go to the bathroom on the ship. Who knew? Then she took us downstairs. We got to go to the captain's quarters. I have a picture of my sons sitting in front of a mirror that was captured during the battle with the British ship, the Guerriere, that gave the Constitution its nickname, Old Ironsides. Oh. My sons, they're seated in front of that mirror. Mirrors were very rare in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Yes. There they are. There's Ben and David in front of that. Okay. She took us down. We saw the cannons. She showed us how to fire a cannon. We didn't get to fire one, but she showed us how. Ben climbed down into the powder hold. He said it still smelled like gunpowder. This is 200 years later, and it still smells like gunpowder. The brig, we saw, she took us down to the keel of the ship, and at the time, this was the original keel of the USS Constitution. It's only been changed in about the last 10 or 15 years. So we saw the keel. We stepped over it. She took us to the front of the ship where there are bolts that hold the sides and the keel and all together. They were made and donated to the construction of the ship by a famous silversmith named, Paul Revere. I have a picture of my sneaky little Ben putting his finger on that bolt. Those bolts now hang in a museum. And that was where the idea for this Field Trip Ready was formed. Only we didn't have video technology yet that everybody could use. So flash forward, I've been planning trips like that for 2 decades now. And every time I take my students, I make them visit with me for 2 hours every 2 weeks for about 6 or 7 months at a minimum before we go on the trip. They study everything we're going to see while we're there. They know they could be tour guides. They have to develop a notebook of all the notes about everything, so that when somebody gets there and they ask a question, I've got 15 students looking. Oh yeah, that it's made out of pink marble from Tennessee. Yes, they know that. Okay, they can answer the questions. They could be tour guides because they've developed that much in their notebooks, that much research. And I'm getting old now, and I can't do that for everybody. I took my last trip to Washington, D.C. in May, and it killed me. I was physically exhausted.
Wow.
And I thought, I cannot do this for everybody. So instead, I am making video content and developing teacher resources, lesson plans, worksheets, debate guides, field guides for state parks, things like that, so that a teacher can decide where we're going to go on a field trip. Say we're going to go to Timms Ford State Park down in Winchester. They can show their students the video, so they'll see, this is what you're going to see when you get here. This is what you need to know about this. Then they can put a worksheet in front of them. Fill out this worksheet. Okay, so we've got all of our 5th graders answering a worksheet that has questions like, what prompts the water in the dam, the turbines do, and how was this dam created? It was from the Elk River, and how is that influence, and just all the questions. And then they go on a field trip there, and they get to see those things, and now it really matters to them. So that's what Field Trip Ready does.
Oh, I hate that. It sounds just, oh my gosh. Sign me up today. Teddy's ready.
It's fun. I'm really excited about it. I've got about 15 videos up so far. Wow. We've got 14 videos started from Washington, D.C. that we're editing right now and getting those the way we want them to look. And I've got to write an awful lot of teacher resources for them. And then in addition to that, I'm also checking in with different government entities and other organizations that own and control historical sites where students go on field trips. Yeah, and I can write curriculum for them too. I'm going to a place today to check out and see if that's something that would be helpful if their students had information before they got there. I can write that, and I can produce that video. So, yeah.
Well, one of the things I think you should be Department of Education in Tennessee, but that would just be me, Marcia.
Good luck with that. But I would, if that opportunity arose, I would jump on it.
You just never know, man. I'm living my best life.
You can do anything.
I can do whatever I do. That's right.
You're Gigi.
But it's true. It's who you surround who's in the cabinet. You can be that, but it's all who. And I like the people that she surrounds herself with. I really do. So that matters. And now I'm just going off topic here on this one. Hold on. Education, homeschool. How do they find out who is the best people to have this information?
Teachers.
All right, so we need
teachers and parents. Yeah, if parents say, I want my child to do that on a field trip instead of wasting their time that day, then the parents just tell their teacher, hey, saw this paper, y'all are going to this place. You need to go on fieldtripready.com. And they can buy access to the video for $30 and all the curriculum. Yeah. And you have access to it for a full year.
Oh my gosh. $30 a year.
Yeah.
Access to your video.
To that video. And you can buy the entire platform if you want to.
How much is the whole?
I don't know yet. I've not had anybody ask. But yeah, I can sell you the whole platform, give you a discounted rate. And then you can use anything you want.
Oh, I know where I was going to. History. Okay. All right. So one of the things, Eric's a Texan. I've never, he never lets me forget it. He knows everything about Texan. But he goes way back to the signing of the Declaration. His people do. It's kind of wild when you do DNA. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, right? Okay. But they study there at Texas. they study history for 1 year on Texas history.
Okay.
That is why all Texans who go through the public school system know a heck of a lot.
They know a heck of a lot
of history.
Yeah.
And they're proud of it.
Yeah. Tennessee does too. For our state is 5th grade.
And it's a whole year?
A whole year. Tennessee history.
Know that.
Yeah.
When did that start?
I don't know.
Wow.
Some time ago. Yeah.
Well, see, that's all I don't even know. I'm like,
yeah.
But why aren't we proud like that? I mean, Texans, I swear to goodness.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's over the top. I'm like, well, there wouldn't be Texas without Tennessee.
Darn right there wouldn't. Don't you forget that, Eric.
You never, trust me.
I bet you don't let him.
Well, anyway, all right. How do they find out this information?
Fieldtripready.com.
It's just that easy.
Yeah.
Fieldtripready.com.
Yeah.
Also, homeschoolers, you have books.
I have books, and all of that's on fieldtripready.com. You can
All
find
of
my
it.
books. You can get access to my speaker information if you would like me to come speak. I can do high school graduations. I can do your church, your civic group, whatever. I would love to do those things, and all of that information is on fieldtripready.com.
All right. And then the last thing, ballroom dancing.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a knee issue right now, and I resigned from my teaching position this year so I could work on Field Trip Ready, and so the money is a little thin. So if somebody wants to sponsor me, you can do that too. So yes, you can. Yes, I would love to have sponsors because I do have a couple of major competitions coming up, one in Nashville and one in Ohio this fall, and working with the doctor to get my knee healed and practicing like crazy. So.
You're an overcomer.
I just get to say yes a lot. I found out that people who say yes have a lot more fun than people who say no.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people just say no to that. No, I don't. No, nobody else does that. Or nobody in my circle. I don't know anybody who knows that or does that. So no, I just say yes.
Yeah. Why not?
Why not?
And that's why I like I said, to wrap it up, one of my favorite humans from the minute I met you. You're fierce and fabulous, and you raise great humans.
Thank you. So do you.
And I know, and I'm just
amazing.
I will probably be utilizing. I don't know where my Gigi journey is. She may kick me out after a month. I mean, who knows? My daughter has turned into me, like a little controlling, and it's kind of funny. And I laugh. I told Eric this morning. I said it is kind of funny because I pulled her from public and went into private school, private Christian school. I was PTO president.
Good for you.
I did it all.
Yeah.
And it still didn't work. So I pulled her out and pulled my kids out. They went, Christian schools, and so I think that's important. But she is. I would love for her to be a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
I think that is, I was while I went with her, and I think that's super important.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll use resources that you have because we are that family who would love that.
Well, you've got a copy of the Pearls of Wisdom for Homeschooling Moms.
I gave it to her already.
Oh, good. Okay. Good. Yeah.
But we don't know. I mean, we're just evolving right now. They're just young people.
Yeah.
Trying to make it all work.
Yeah.
And so you just we forget how young we were and just pulling it out of our like, how do we do that?
Yeah, I have no idea. Grace of God.
Grace of God. Like by the skin of our teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm incredibly blessed, and so can't take it with me.
That's right.
So why not?
Yeah.
It's just the generational thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's exciting. We're always going to know each other.
Always.
And I'll tell this my last story for my her son felt so comfortable with me. He goes and hikes the flippin' fiery gizzard. No pre-call, nothing. No like, hey, I'll be in the tent. Da, 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 da. No. Hey. I'm at the end of the fiery gizzard trail. Can you pick me up? I'm like, absolutely. Just woo! And here we are, and it was all good, and it was just like perfect.
Yeah.
Those are the kids. They always knew.
Yeah. It's one of the byproducts of teaching the way I taught was that my sons are comfortable with people of any age, and know when they know when they get in over their head. They know when they need to ask for help, and they do.
It
And
was huge.
yeah,
He could have been one of those stubborn boys.
yeah. I'll just hike back to my car. Yeah, in the dark.
Another
yeah,
10 miles.
on a mountain. Yeah.
He was super smart, young, and he just,
Yeah.
he's like, all right, what are my resources?
Yeah.
Here's my mountain people. And there we are. And I love
Yeah.
that about him.
Yeah, he's a neat kid.
Oh, they're both great.
They are
And your
neat.
husband's pretty cool, too. All right. Well, I'm going to send Frances out to spread joy and sunshine wherever she goes. I've got the boys in the wings to talk about Bible. We do
Okay.
a lot of book club, Bible book club here.
Excellent.
So, we're
Excellent
spreading the
stuff.
love. So we're going to go on a quick break, thank our sponsors because we love them, and we'll be right back. As always, thanks for watching Morning on the Mountain. I'll see you in a minute.